Hello everyone. Today I'm going to be talking about text editors and what they are and what they do. First I want to show you the text editor that comes with most computers on Windows. It's called Notepad, and so here's an example of what it does. I'm going to go ahead and open this program using Notepad. So what Notepad does as a basic text editor is it brings up the code or a plain text file and displays it so you can read it. This is an example of a program, and as you can see it's very plain. All the words are the same font, same size, same color. This is a programming language, but if you don't know what you're looking at, it can be very hard to tell which one it is. You may be able to figure it out if you've worked with this programming language before, but for now it's pretty hard to tell. And Notepad itself has very limited functionality. If you're going to edit any sort of code or do any sort of programming, Notepad is probably not the program you want to use. So there's other text editors out there that are free that are a lot more helpful with that. The one I use is Notepad++, and so that's the one I'm going to be demonstrating today. But if you want to download a free text editor, there's a couple options you could have. The first one I've got here is Notepad++. You just go to notepad++.org and you click right here on their download link and get it for free. Another good one that's really popular is Sublime Text. This one is better for all-around languages, while Notepad++ is more geared towards web editing. And then if you're on a Mac, there's a really popular one called Text Wrangler, and I'd recommend that one if you're a Mac user. So just to see the difference between Notepad and Notepad++, I'm going to go ahead and open Notepad++. And the first file I have there is the same program you looked at earlier with Notepad. And so as you can see, Notepad++ makes it a lot prettier. You can see that now that comments are green, commands are blue. It's a lot easier to read. It's easier to see where the actual program takes place. And if you want to know what language it is, you can go up to this language tab and click on it and filter through these. And as you can see, this is a program that's been written in C++. So it's just a lot better to look at right off the bat than plain Notepad. And Notepad++, like a lot of free text editors, it can support a lot of different languages. So right here I've got a C++ file, an HTML file, a CSS file, and a JavaScript file. And it's capable of handling all of these. So one of the cool things that Notepad++ can do is it lets you work on multiple files simultaneously. And you can also look at them side by side. If you don't want to keep clicking through these tabs, let's say you have your HTML file and you want to look at the CSS at the same time, all you have to do is click the CSS file up here in the tabs, drag it out to the middle, and it's going to ask you if you want to move to other view or clone to other view. I'm going to go ahead and move it, and then we select the HTML back on the left side, and so now we have the HTML and the CSS, so we can look at them both at the same time. And this is really useful for web designers who want to have two web pages that look most of the same with a few changes. They can compare and contrast, and they can also see exactly where the CSS is going to affect in their HTML file. So that's one of the fun things it can do. Another thing is, as you can see here in this HTML, I've got a lot of headers here. And if I go to run, I can see what my web page looks like in Chrome. So now I've got all these headers, and let's say I think that all my headers are too big. And so rather than going through each one and changing it to a header 3, I can select search and find and click on the replace tab. So since I don't want header 1s, I can find header 1 and I can replace it with a header 3. And so now it goes ahead and finds it for you. You can start hitting replace, and it'll go through each one systematically and replace them all. Or if you have a huge long document with tons of stuff to change, you can go ahead and click replace all, and it'll turn them all to header 3s. Now if I save it and run it in Chrome again, Now they're all the size I want instead of being too big like they were here. So that's fun. The reason Notepad++ and some of these other programs are really useful is that for technical writers, you're going to be working with web pages a lot, and Notepad++ is really geared toward web pages and being able to manipulate content in a web page rather easily. It's a lot easier than just a plain text editor such as Notepad. And anyone who's learning how to program or who just needs a quick tool that's easier on the mind can go ahead and download Notepad++ for free. And it can just give you a lot of flexibility and a lot of options on what you can do when you're editing things such as web pages.